2. Saturday interrupted. Scene 1. It had been a long time since my Saturday night comprised me sitting my ass in the house and folding laundry. But I wasn't complaining. I really liked the place my life had settled into. I used to be the bitch that was in the club from Wednesday to Sunday. Like, for real, my girls had gotten to points where certain days of the week they were ignoring my calls because they already knew when my number popped up I was calling with the plan for the night. I had a whole husband, and a little ass trail of bambinos, but I wasn't complete. Eric was the love of my life. He was all I ever wanted in a man, but Eric played the streets heavy as fuck, and that often left me home alone, cuddling pillows and shit. That shit got old real fast, and before he knew it, I was looking forward to the nigga to take them out of town runs. Eric would leave for Jersey on Monday morning and our kids would be off to my parents' house by Monday afternoon. I was living. Or so I thought. When he found out how hard I was out here partying and halfway entertaining other motherfuckers, he lost it. We were really heading for divorce. Like, we both had squared up, got attorneys and shit, and were en route to the courtroom, but then something happened. His mother intervened and had us sitting in counseling. It was then we both realized what we were about to give up on. I was about to give up the one man who loved and accepted me, flaws and all. He was about to give up the one chick that would have walked to the moon for his ass, no questions asked. We took a break from world and went on vacation to Jamaica, and after a week at hedonism, shit had not been the same between us, in a good way. Now here it was a Saturday night, the kids were in the city for the weekend and I was finishing up folding laundry. My husband was picking up dinner for us and bringing his ass in and having a seat. I guess the old saying was true, that sometimes you gotta be that motherfucking close to losing everything to truly realize what you have. And that's what happened to us. I folded the last t-shirt in the basket of white clothes, making a mental note to make my kids do more chores and shit around the house because their spoiled asses really did nothing. Yeah, they went to school, earned good grades and all, but fuck, that's what they were supposed to do. So a chore chart was coming. To make sure I didn't forget to do it, I ran upstairs from the basement into the kitchen to make a note. I'm not gonna bullshit you, I did not have the best memory. I smoked like a chimney for as long as I could remember, and that shit was real live, taking a toll on a bitch's short-term memory. I wasn't no foghead zombie or no shit like that, but yeah. I could be talking to you in real life, lose track of a whole conversation. Rick James said that cocaine was a hell of a drug. Well, I'll be the one to tell you, that pack wasn't shit to play with either. After I wrote on the whiteboard on the fridge to make a chore chart, I decided to have a glass of wine, plus I was due for a session. I knew Eric would be home soon and he would spark another session, but it was something about smoking alone that put life and all its meanings in perspective for me. I pulled the stool over to the tall cabinets with my holiday dishes in it, stood up on top of it, and climbed up on the counter. Being height challenged was serious work, which was why my ass stayed in heels. But anyway, I moved the shit on the top shelf around and finally reached my kitchen stash. Yeah, I had stash spots all over my house. Don't judge. Our house had 3 full floors, 6 bedrooms, and was over 4,000 square feet. Wasn't no damn way I was gonna be running back and forth every time I needed to break out for a session. So I kept packages complete with roll-ups stashed about the house. I sat down to begin the signs of twisting up when the doorbell rang. I so was annoyed because I had just bust my shit down and was ready to begin, and I hated to be interrupted during a session. I knew Eric had his keys, and I wasn't expecting anybody else, so I took a deep breath to calm my nerves and was like, man, fuck whoever on the other side of 83,621, it was about to go down. As soon as I started feeling that bitch, the doorbell and my fucking cell phone started going off. Being that it was Asia's ass attempting to FaceTime me, and it was clear to see she was outside of my door on the kitchen monitor, I reluctantly put my shit down and got up to go see what this bitch wanted. I just knew her ass was gonna be out of my hair for a few days because she should have been at home getting her motherfucking pelvis readjusted. Okay, who was I kidding? His itty-bitty black ass was carrying nothing to readjust nobody's pelvis. I never understood what the fuck she wanted with him because while he was an alright dude with his country ass, Damon wasn't shit to look at. I knew it, Asia knew it, and the fucking world knew it. Nigga just looked old as shit for no reason. As much as I loved Asia, I promise I wanted to leave her ass outside, but when I looked at her face on the monitor, it was clear she was crying. And considering her ass was here working the shit out my doorbell and my phone, It was clear this night did not go as we had planned. I walked down the hall to the foyer and took a deep breath to calm my irritation, and opened the door. Asia came in and brushed past me and went straight down the hall into my kitchen. After I locked up the door, I went behind her to find her sitting on the island drinking my glass of wine I had just started on. Well, damn bitch, just help yourself. Why don't you? I plan to. Asia says as she rolls her eyes. What the fuck are you doing over here anyway, Asia? I thought that nigga would be sucking pig feet juice out your ass by now. Bitch, let me tell you about this bitch ass nigga. You know he got mad at me, talking about his blood pressure high and all this other dumb shit, and all I'm worried about is getting fucked. I had to stifle my laughter as she filled me in, all while refilling my glass that had magically become hers. After I went through all this motherfucking poking and prodding trying to spruce myself up for this motherfucker and he barely even looked at me, day. He really doesn't want me no more. Asia, I really think we'll need to go to counseling or something. Fuck him, I'm over it. I'm about to go to the studio. Studio? Bitch, when you start singing. No. I'm going to see Muhammad. Bitch. I know, but I'm tired, day. I have been waiting for this nigga to get his life in order and get this pussy and he's still talking to me about his fucking blood pressure, day. Like seriously. If you are standing naked in front of Eric, what's his next move? Asia, you can't keep on doing that. Doing what, bitch? Wanting to feel loved and desired? No. You have every right to want to be loved and feel desired. But you can't keep comparing our marriages. You know damn well me and Eric weren't always like this. True, y'all had issues, but that nigga always wanted you, day. He has always been attracted to you. I keep telling you, shit wasn't always sweet and I'ma leave it at that. I grabbed my roll up and lit it because I hated these conversations. Eric and I were finally in an amazing place and I hated traveling back to where we used to be, even mentally. Dad and I was tired of working my ass off trying to save these people marriage when two things were clear. He really didn't want to fuck her, and she really wanted to fuck this Muhammad dude. For the last few weeks, it felt like every single time I turned around I was talking her down off this nigga dick. She knew in her heart of hearts she didn't want to cheat on Damon's funny looking ass, so I don't know why she kept toying with the notion. Asia and I had been best friends for years, and while I loved her ass, she needed to stop faking. Damon took care of her ass. And if she cheated on this nigga, it was no doubt in my mind that he was going to walk the fuck out on her and leave her with nothing. She had to know this in the back of her big ass head as well. So why keep playing with fire? I didn't know why she kept going back to this I'm a fuck Muhammad bullshit. Considering this nigga had a whole wife and couldn't offer her shit, but more motel dick once Damon tossed her shit on the curb. I shook my head in pity at her as I tuned out her ramblings and went in the freezer and got the hard shit. It was clear she wasn't leaving right now, and also clear she wasn't gonna quit rambling on about Damon and his wet noodle. I kept trying to tell this bitch maybe, just maybe, the nigga needed to see a doctor because he could be impotent, but she wasn't hearing me. She kept talking about that shit for old ass men, not my husband. And I'm killing myself trying to be quiet, thinking, bitch, have you met your Benjamin Button-face ass husband or nah? I poured us both some chilled patron straight because this bitch was not about to drink all my wine, and I knew liquor wasn't her thing like that. By her second shot, her ass would be in a corner somewhere sucking her thumb and asleep. My husband would be home at any minute and we had plans that included me riding his face in the middle of our living room, so I needed her ass to get on somewhere. I wasn't gonna send her out in the street drunk to wrap her little car around a pole, so I suggested we go back down in the family room. Again, I knew my bestie and knew if I got her another drink and a comfy spot to set a spell, within 10 minutes she would be drooling down her whole motherfucking arm, and that was fine by me. We got downstairs.